Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we're taking a really vital journey together to uncover a powerful tool for energy assistance right here in North Dakota. If the brutal winter chill or that blistering summer heat is starting to take a serious toll on your wallet, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to break down exactly how this program works and, more importantly, how you can access it step by step.
Are you struggling with high energy bills and need financial help? Discover how to take the first step towards relief with LIHEAP in North Dakota. Listen, it can feel incredibly stressful and, frankly, pretty isolating when utility costs start piling up and you just aren't sure how to keep the heat on. But I want to assure you right now, there is a clear, highly structured path forward to get the actual relief you need.
So, here is our roadmap for today. First, welcome to LIHEAP Relief. Then, checking your eligibility, preparing your application, submitting your form, and finally, what happens next?
All right, let's jump right into Section 1. Welcome to LIHEAP Relief Understanding the Program.
So, what exactly is this? LIHEAP stands for the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program. Basically, it's a federally funded block grant designed specifically to help qualifying low-income households in North Dakota manage their home energy costs. Now, historically, this was strictly a seasonal winter program. You could only apply between October and May. But recently, the North Dakota Department of Health and Human Services transitioned this to a year-round operational model for regular benefits. That is a huge deal. It means assistance for heating, cooling, and even weatherizing your home actually continues through your designated 12-month eligibility period.
Okay, let's dive into this because there's a massive misconception out there that you have to actually own your home to get this energy help. That is entirely false. Both homeowners and renters can absolutely qualify for LIH. The main exception to keep in mind here is if you live in subsidized housing where your heating costs are already factored into and included in your rent. But as long as you are the one directly responsible for paying those energy bills, you are eligible to apply. Moving right along to Section 2, checking your eligibility, the 60% rule. Eligibility for this assistance is firmly anchored by one overarching metric. We call it the 60% rule. Basically, your household's gross income absolutely cannot exceed 60% of the North Dakota state median income. This specific percentage ensures that the federal and state funding is targeted directly at the households bearing the absolute highest energy burden relative to their actual income. Now, what's really interesting about this is how that 60% rule translates into practical, real-world numbers for the current fiscal year, 2026. For example, if you're a single person living alone, your gross monthly income can be up to $3,378. If you have a family of 4, that monthly limit bumps up to $6,497. But here's a vital takeaway for how you actually calculate this. LIHEAP defines your household by who shares the utility bill. So if you live with roommates and you all split the same natural gas or electric bill, you are all counted together as one single LIHEAP household for these income calculations. Make sense?
Let's tackle Section 3, preparing your application, gathering your documents.
Before you even sit down to apply, you've got to get your paperwork in order to avoid any frustrating processing delays. Think of this as your packing list. You need the completed application itself. You absolutely must provide verification of your income, and this means what you made last month, this month, and what you anticipate making next month. You should also gather proof of any out-of-pocket medical, childcare, or alimony expenses from the last 12 months, purely because these can favorably adjust your income calculation. Finally, grab a copy of your current heating bill and your lease if you rent. And here is a real pro tip. The primary applicant's name on your application literally must match the name printed on the heating bill exactly.
Which brings us to Section 4, submitting your form, 3 application pathways. You basically have a couple of main avenues here, the digital express route or the traditional paper route. You can apply online using the state's self-service portal, which is known as the SSP, over at applyforhelp.nd.gov. But if you're someone who prefers physical paperwork, no problem. You can download or pick up Form SFN 529. Once that's filled out, you can just drop that paper form off in person at your local Human Service Zone office or simply mail it straight to the Customer Support Center in Bismarck.
Let's move to the digital side and see how this builds if you choose the fast, online route through the self-service portal. It's a super clean 3-step process. First, you'll create a North Dakota login on the site. Second, for security, you'll retrieve a unique activation code that gets sent to your email or phone just to confirm your identity. Third, you'll enter your portal dashboard, select the LIHEAP application, fill out the required sections, and finally, e-sign it.
It's really important to note here that you must e-sign this yourself. An authorized representative cannot digitally sign the SSP application on your behalf.
Now, if looking at all this paperwork makes you feel completely overwhelmed, take a breath. You literally do not have to do this alone. Community Options is a designated partner agency that provides completely free application assistance. You can just call them at 1-800-823-2417, and an outreach worker can actually help you gather your documents, fill out the application, and get the whole shebang successfully submitted. It is a fantastic, totally free resource.
All right, the home stretch, Section 5. What happens next? After you submit. So the crucial point is really understanding this timeline so you aren't left guessing or stressing. Day 1 is the day your application is officially received by the regional eligibility team. From that day, you have a strict 30-day window to submit any of those required verifications, like your pay stubs or utility bills if you didn't include them originally. Missing that day 30 deadline can unfortunately lead to your application being delayed or even denied. Finally, by day 45 at the very latest, you're going to receive a formal notice of action letter in the mail. This letter is your final answer, letting you know if you qualified and exactly what your benefit amount will be. If you haven't heard back, you can check our status anytime by logging back into the online portal or calling your local zone office. And hey, if your application is denied or you spot an issue, don't panic. You absolutely have the right to file an appeal. And you can always contact Community Options for guidance on resolving it or figuring out a reapplication strategy.
One more thing you need to know. LIHEAP isn't just about regular monthly bills. It's a vital, critical safety net. The program features an emergency crisis intervention component. If you get a disconnection notice, run completely out of fuel, or your furnace just unexpectedly breaks down in the dead of winter, this crisis program can provide up to $500 year-round for immediate intervention. What's even more remarkable here is that crisis applications can cover unpaid utility costs incurred up to 90 days before you even applied, paying vendors directly to stop shutoffs. It is a powerful last resort protection for your family.
Okay, as we transition to our mandatory disclaimer, I want to frame this as a really empowering step. While this explainer has given you a comprehensive, step-by-step roadmap drawn straight from the official source material, you should always proactively verify specifics with your local Human Service Zone or official North Dakota government resources. Funding limits, specific eligibility metrics, and program rules can and often do change over time. So always double-check with the local experts to ensure you have the most current information for your specific situation.
We have reached the end of our roadmap, and you now have the tools and the route fully mapped out. The only thing left is action. So my question to you is, are you ready to take control of your energy bills today? Don't leave this relief on the table. Gather your documents and claim the assistance designed specifically to protect your household. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I will see you next time.